Former Attorney General Hector Balderas says his office paused its own investigation after reaching an agreement with federal prosecutors in New York, an agreement he now says was never fully honored. Peyton Spellacy explains.
Yeah, Shelley, Doug, in a new letter to the Attorney General Raul Torres, his office, Balderas says that his office agreed to hand over its work to the Southern District of New York with the understanding that any New Mexico related evidence would be sent back once the federal case was over.
And I wanted the current Attorney General and the lawmakers in New Mexico to understand that I really believe the DOJ has let New Mexico down many times, and I wanted to tell my story.
A letter outlining the specifics. Federal prosecutors contacted New Mexico in 2019 asking state investigators to stop interviewing witnesses. In return, they would give New Mexico all of their files when their case was closed, something they never did.
That if it strengthens the state's position, that we should consider litigating to get those records.
Balderas attaching a handwritten note from federal investigators. He found it in the latest Epstein Files Transparency Act records. Adding the note shows federal prosecutors knew about the agreement.
I'm arguing that this is their own state of mind and the best evidence. This is their notes. They promised certain things, and then on the very back end, they ghosted us.
When I asked why there was never a signed agreement,
It's a common practice and protocol that when you share information, you honor those agreements because you don't want to burn each other in any way.
and he says they still owe the state 3 million files.
It would be game changing. So the system has failed many generations of survivors. And so it's important to get it right. And then I would say after 19, the DOJ should just share the evidence and let the rest of the justice system account.
Yeah, so we reached out to the U.S. Department of Justice to see if they would hand over the files. The department referred us to the Southern District of New York, where the initial federal case took place. We also reached out to them, and then they told us to reach out to the New York Attorney General's office, which then referred us back to SDNY. Peyton Spellacy, KOAT, Action 7 News.